Oh.
Good morning, party people.
Welcome to the breakdown with Nath and Johnny, where we're going to get a little bit OG. And I'm talking deathcore OG. Job for a Cowboy are back.
9 years. 9
Yeah.
years. Yeah. It's their first single back in 9 years.
Man.
We're getting heavy here, ladies and gentlemen. The song is called The Agony Seeping Storm. Ironic, because it's raining outside right now.
It is, yes. Well, you know what we should have said? Job for a Cowboy have returned to the music world. Do you get that?
Brie noise is the thing they were known for.
It is, actually. I'm very interested to... Look, I'm interested to hear it, but what a perfect time to come back for them, because deathcore is so popular now.
The Agony Seeping Storm gives a slice of our upcoming concept record. Regarding the video, the band collaborated extensively with the director, while our bassist, Nick, co-directed. The concept was inspired by a close friend who embarked on a relentless quest for profound enlightenment through the incessant abuse of hallucinogenic drugs.
Wow.
This is a bad thing for me to read. There's a lot of words in this. However, as they delved deeper into their religious-like experimentation, they began exhibiting symptoms of bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. They began to believe that they could access an alternate esoteric reality through hallucinogenic intoxication. They put so many big words in this.
Yep.
Where they encountered Gnostic and biblical figures and imagery. The song reflects their thoughts, ideas, and experiences. It's Johnny Davey saying that one right there.
Have fun reading that, Nathan, you dickhole.
Well, it's essentially, yeah. Esoteric reality through hallucinogenic intoxication when they encountered Gnostic and biblical figures. That's a wordy AF.
You know what? This is a band who's about to sit there and just like brie, yell, yell, scream, scream, heavy, heavy.
I feel like there's more words in the introduction than there was in the actual lyrics. Just to
you know what? You're right. They've
me.
just spaced it out.
Anyway,
No,
it's your first time here. Welcome.
thanks for hanging out with us. If you don't like us, tough shit.
Get in line, baby. 3, 2, 1. That's that bass line.
Crazy.
Have to pause it somewhere because there's nowhere to pause it.
This is essentially a deathcore version of a Joe Rogan episode.
Just because it said DMT in that book.
Have you tried DMT?
Yeah, I thought so. The production of this is actually pretty interesting. That bass really stands out. And the real China-y high cymbal sound, like it really...
Yeah. It doesn't...
through.
It's interesting because I was wondering if they were going to come back and lean into, you know, essentially like a modern version of what they used to do, production-wise.
No, this is pretty classic then, so far.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. I like the clarity of all the instruments and stuff. And again, that's just one thing, you know, the bass really stands out. It's going ham.
How do you go ham?
I don't know, man.
You brie like a pig.
Brie! He's got the old black eyes. Shred is out of control. Love that. Bass is the MVP.
Fully.
Okay,
Is this
Primus?
Primus?
You want to know why we're friends?
For both idiots. Ooh. 100% the MVP.
Fuck, fuck, fuck. Oh, it's just turned into a Tool music video. Man, there is some slapping and popping going on.
And now he's reborn.
He was born again.
What's that style of bass called? That real primacy. Like I know there's like a slap
Like
bassy,
slapping,
but
yeah,
like
slap.
not the, no, but I know not the technique. Like there's a term for it that I can't think of. And you know music well, and I wanted you to help me, and you're not helping.
Cornery.
No, that's not it. That was a wild ride.
Yeah,
The
you know
bass. Fucking, I want to see if there's anything about.
I enjoyed that much more than I thought I was going to.
Sure.
What about you?
Was that a band you ever listened to?
Not heavily. It was basically because of the novelty of the whole it being so heavy and the breathe thing, but it's not really a band I ever got super into.
Sure.
They had one album, I can't remember what one it was, that I listened to quite a bit. But yeah, I was much more, when they were around, I was much more a Poison the World, Glassjaw, From Autumn to Ashes, Bleeding Through
Sure.
type kid.
Okay.
Um,
I was never into them. I never got into that heaviness that long ago. That was out of my realm then.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know them and I have listened to them, but I was never an active listener of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember them or know them well enough to comment on that in respect to their old stuff. But
Sure.
yeah, I'll have to listen to some old stuff. But I'm pretty sure that was way more proggy and technical than I ever remember them.
That's a great comment. I don't play any instruments, so I don't understand very much about it, but it seems to me the bass in the song is ridiculously good.
Yeah, the bass was absolutely. They were all insane.
Yeah.
But the bass really cut through.
But also, not only that, like to start with, I was like, oh, bass tone, like that's really standing out. And then it got like the main thing,
Yeah.
playful and slappy and whatever that style is that I can't think on the top of my head right now, was really interesting.
Yeah. The music video, I was like, for the first couple of minutes, I was like, oh, is this essentially just going to be this dude just tripping out with that sort of trippy effect? And then it went a place that I didn't expect it to go.
That's pretty wild.
What are your thoughts on, now, you're not a fan of drugs or alcohol in any way. What are your thoughts on the concept of DMT and those psycho, well, you know, like, what are they called?
Hallucinogenic?
Hallucinogenics and that sort of stuff, yeah.
Like psilocybin and all those type of things?
Yeah.
I think from a tripping perspective or from a medical perspective?
Both.
From a tripping perspective, I've never got it. I contused the ligaments in my knee playing football. So goalie slid out and my knee bent forwards. But because I was a very fit, healthy human, the ligaments didn't just snap, they actually bent and overstretched.
Oh.
And so they came back and were loose. And so that's overstretching the ligaments is called contusing.
Okay.
And so I did that, and it was the worst experience of my life. It was so painful, and they gave me that little green whistle thing.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And I fucking hated that experience.
Did ya?
I tripped out.
Okay.
I remember because I got like stretchered off the field, taken up. They had an ambulance come, and they gave me that, and I went into shock, and they couldn't find my veins to give me morphine, and so they gave me that thing. But then I remember like there was a refrigerator nearby that was just like squealing, and there was a tiny high pitched noise that just became louder and louder. I hated that experience.
Okay.
I don't think I'm someone that likes the idea of like tripping out and seeing weird shapes and stuff coming at me. I think I just go into panic mode.
Yeah, okay. That you like to be completely in control of.
Well, yeah, that's one of the whole reasons why I don't drink and do drugs is that I'm too controlling, and I don't like that state of like, oh, what's happening now? I'm like, no, I want to be in control of myself.
What do you think about the concept of, drugs like DMT and is it the ayahuasca and things like that being used? They reckon that there's certain people that shouldn't take it because it forces you to look inwards in a way that you may never be able to do otherwise, and it accesses different parts of your brain, different parts of your psyche, and you see things about yourself that you have to confront. Yeah. It's an interesting concept to me.
It is. When I was 19, 20, a friend of mine had a friend that was stuck in a trip. Fully stuck in a trip. 20-year-old, oh no, he would have been like 22. And at that time, when I met him, I was like, this is funny, because the dude did things and just functioned in a new way. Like, for example, he loved having long hair.
Okay.
But he got really hot. So he shaved the top of his head and just wore hats. Like, he tucked himself. Because that's the way he functioned. He was like, now I don't have to worry about the heat. I can have the long hair look I love, but now the heat escapes my head. And that's so funny. Until you realise that's just like how that dude is as a human going forwards. His mind is completely altered, and he doesn't do things in the way that everyone else would. It's not saying that's a bad thing. No. But it also means that his approach to life, like finding a partner that's going to be able to handle some of the ways he approaches relationships and communication with people is just a weird thing, and I think that's a really scary, dangerous thing that it can affect people like that.
Yeah, I also think if you're around the age of 19, 20 and you're still basically forming who you are as a person, it's probably not something that you should do. And if it is something that you were interested in doing, because I know people go on those retreats in Peru or whatever it is to do that route and stuff.
They're like guided through it by shamans or whatever.
Yeah. I think that it needs to be in a controlled environment. I'm not sure if it would ever be something that I would do. But yeah, it's just such an interesting thing to me. Those sorts of drugs are super interesting to me because of what they can do.
I think the use of like psilocybin and like mushrooms in microdosing and the way they're using it now to combat like PTSD and things like that mental health side of things, I think that's unreal that we're now exploring that and it's becoming allowed to be like research in a clinical way. Yeah. I think the problem is when it's not allowed like that, people just be like, oh, I took it too much and now I'm fucked up.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
But I think that there are showing to be some really promising potential upsides from it. So,
if you've ever dabbled in that sort of thing and you're comfortable with it, drop your story or your experience in the comments. No judgment here.
Yeah, actually no judgment at all. I'm super interested in that. Yeah. I don't want to hear and I got fucked up with my friends, because that's like not really what we want.
I swear to God, I saw an alien and it had 5 dicks.
That was just 5 different people.
You wake up, he's just like, oh, never
he was in one of those like mirror houses and he's standing naked. This is crazy! Anyway, also, tell us about JOB for a Cowboy. What do you think of the Agony Seeping Storm?
Welcome back, JOB for a Cowboy.
For new music from them. Yep. And we'll see you guys next time.